No sooner are the levers off than it's time to pop them back on again for the Catalunya MotoGP, round 8 of this most fascinating of seasons. Already the third of 7 races that will take place on Spanish soil this year, the Catalunya MotoGP, held at the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, will be a cooler affair than previous seasons, having been moved from May, but it's a true test of man and machine. After a small gap appeared between the top tier and the chasing pack at Misano, is this the start of the big title push? Coming to Misano, you could have thrown a large blanket over the potential title candidates, and truth be told, you still can now after Franco Morbidelli and Maverick Vinales made themselves the 5th and 6th different race winners in 2020. Incredibly, only 27 points, the difference almost between a win and a DNF, cover the entire top 10, while even the gap from 5th to 10th is just 7 points. It's tight at the top 2, with just 4 points covering the top 4, but they have a growing advantage over the chasing pack. Could this be the breakaway group? Given the twists and turns of this year's championship, it would be prudent to nail a winner down just yet, but the top 3, Andrea Dovizioso, Fabio Quartararo and Maverick Vinales, are arguably the logical Marquez-less favourites on paper. It's ironic then that none are having what you'd call a stellar season, which is why the 4th in this quartet, Joan Mir, could be where the cheeky money should go this weekend. He is the only rider to have strung together any notable form in recent races, 4 consecutive top 4 finishes, and his podiums in Misano were achieved from average starting positions too. On the crest of a confidence wave, and on a Suzuki many think has more to come, we have showered Quartararo with compliments since he arrived on the scene in 2019, but it's now time to start paying much closer attention to Mir. When Andrea Dovizioso announced his impending exit from Ducati, it appeared the manufacturer had once again allowed a number 1 rider to slip from its grasp over internal wrangles and politics. It also forced it into making a late decision on several vacant seats, without much in the way of headline-grabbing options for it to rely on in 2021. And yet, this could well turn out to be the best thing that's happened to them. Expected to be announced this weekend, for the first time, Ducati will head into a campaign with 2 riders it has forged through its own rider programme in Jack Miller and, probably, Pecco Bagnaia. While a decision on Bagnaia may have been made a few weeks ago, his superb coming-of-age performance in Misano will have hushed any doubts we or they may have had in promoting him earlier than they perhaps intended. In fact, Bagnaia's form in Misano and Spain before he injured himself instead leaves Miller's assumed number 1 status rather shaky. However, as 2 riders that aren't coming to Ducati with their own thoughts to impose on its traditionally headstrong management team, what the lineup may lack in experience and, dare we say, superstar power, it gains in having 2 that are quick but unlikely to clap back at the powers. If you thought Valentino Rossi was the ultimate homeboy returning to his origins in Misano, Pol and Alex Espargaro pretty much grew up in the shadows of the Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, in the adjoining town of Granollers. While they don't quite have the same profile as the Doctor, there is definitely one side street pizzeria we visited that is very proud of the racing brothers. It's proving to be a season of different fortunes for them, but perhaps not in the way you'd think. Indeed, while Pol is enjoying one of his best seasons, certainly his best on a KTM, one can tell he hasn't quite maximised his opportunities on a remarkably good package right now. By contrast, Alex's results have been disappointing so far, a best of only 10th, but he believes the new RSGP is light years ahead of its predecessor, and now just needs the odd tweak to get it right up at the sharp end. For Pol especially, he will need a clean weekend. While he arrives home on the back of a second podium of 2020, he achieved it via 4 crashes over 2 weekends. With a front group now forming, Espargaro needs to get a wiggle on to ensure he at least ends his season and time at KTM as the manufacturer's best representative. Who are you backing in the Catalunya MotoGP? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more.